Hello and welcome to this bite-sized episode of Life Lessons with me, Simon Mundie, in which we revisit a nugget from one of my previous conversations and have a closer look. This week's bite-sized episode is with the nation's PE teacher, Joe Wicks. Joe may be a hugely popular MBE now, but he came from really humble beginnings. The man, now known as the body coach, says he struggled with near constant anxiety as a kid, growing up in a house with a father who struggled with drug addiction and who was in and out of rehab, and a mother who had OCD. Now, after completing a sports science degree, Joe first took a job as a teaching assistant, but after realising that wasn't the path he wanted to follow, he became a personal trainer for about 5 years. And his commitment to the job paid off in 2014 when he came up with the idea that changed his life. Now, when Joe started posting online content that year, there was no master plan. He just loved doing it and ploughed on before eventually breaking through. And it's a story that's often repeated in seeming overnight successes. That ability to keep on going when the rewards aren't immediately forthcoming and people are telling you that you're flogging a dead horse. And that's the lesson Joe wants to share: the importance of relentless consistency. Quick word on the way you conquered social media. You talked about how quick it was in becoming kind of the brand that you are now and the success that you've had and everything like that. How did you do it, and what tips would you have for people who want to build their profile?
Imagine you've got an iPhone, you're in your flat in Surbiton, right? You're living with your girlfriend and you share a recipe on Instagram and you say, and that right there is lean in 15. There's no way you can possibly think that in that moment you're going to go on to have the second best-selling cookbook of all time, sell 3 million books, have a TV show. That one idea completely changed my life. And I had friends around me saying, "Oh, Joe, get back to your boot camp. You're doing my nutting with all these videos." And I didn't listen. I just carried on. It's like with the boot camp. I kept going back to the station and flying. And I applied the same mentality to my Instagram. It's like, I love it. I'm doing it. Forget about what people say. And I just didn't care. I just kept doing it. And that's the kind of mentality you need when trying to build anything, whether you're selling online plans or you just want to grow an audience to, make cheesecakes or, wedding photography. It is about reaching out and standing out and being authentic. And I think nowadays, like I said, it's just people can see the money in it and see the business inside of social media. That is it really genuine anymore? Can you be truly authentic when everyone knows at the end of it, I can get paid for this?
Yeah, I mean, that speaks volumes about following your gut.
My first video on Instagram got maybe 10 views, and my mum was the first person to comment on it, and she said, "Oh, good idea, great idea, Joe. It's brilliant." But that was it. And but you can't, it's like anything. If you walked away, like when you're growing a podcast audience or a YouTube channel, you're talking to no one at first. No one's listening, but eventually it will build and it will grow. And all success stories, it's the same story, knockbacks, no, setbacks, and they come back and they keep going. And then, before you know it, they've just sold, Airbnb or Uber worth billions of dollars. So it's every story, every idea starts from one person working really hard.
Yeah. It's that whole thing about an overnight success actually being 10 years or whatever in the making, isn't it?
When I started on Instagram, it's quite an interesting stat. Like in 2014, there's about 300 million users. So it was quite easy to grow, organic growth. You had good reach. Now there's 1 billion people using Instagram. And there's millions of people trying to be the next body coach of an online fitness plan and a book and an endorsement and brand partnerships. I was genuinely so authentic at the time because I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't like a marketing expert with this big vision of building a community, and then you'll get a book deal, then you can monetize it, and then you can get brand deals. But now I think people see what I've achieved, and it is very much like, right, I want to be an influencer, I want to be an Instagrammer, I don't want to work in an office, and they see it as a kind of easy way out. But you've really got to be so genuine in what you're doing, and you've got to believe that the value and the content you're putting out is helping people. And so my success, if you want to measure my success against book sales and plans sold, that's only come around because of my true, really deep engagement with my audience and, caring about them. But I was obsessed. Breakfast, lunch and dinner, every day I posted videos. It took a long time to build up that community and get the trust.
Was that hard?
In order to become a social media star, whatever you want to say, I had to be very antisocial because I'd be at dinner with my mum and dad, I'd be running to the toilet to try and reply to people, I'd be on holiday, by the pool, just constantly replying and engaging, and my girlfriend would be like, "Can we just eat the recipe? Do we have to, can we just eat the meal? Why have we got to film it?" But I would just want to film everything. Everything was an opportunity, everything was content, and I just saw the world as content. And now it's even the same with stories. I'll be with Indy and and I think, oh God, that's a really great part of my story, and I have to stop and think, look, not everything's got to be on your story. Just enjoy the moment.
Okay.
But I do see the world as kind of, like, what can I telling my story, and how can that inspire someone? How can I make someone laugh? How can I make someone want to, check out this workout or try this recipe? So it's a full-time job, but I do love the feedback and the actual engagement I get for other people. So it's work, but it's not work, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so you actually enjoy doing the social media stuff. That period that to others might seem like a right slog, posting as you did, actually you enjoy doing that.
Well, I was a personal trainer, so I was still really busy doing PT, boot camps, but I dedicated time to growing my social media. And like I said, I can't say I was doing it for an end goal. I just thought it'd be great if more people come to my boot camp, or I don't know what the obsession was with it, but I just genuinely love sharing content. But yeah, I did love it because I didn't get paid a single penny. And I always say I sent 20,000 tweets before I made a single penny from social media. So it was years of building it up. And some people now will just come on, they'll take some selfies, they'll release a plan and expect everyone's just going to buy it and engage in it. But, building trust with people online takes time, and they've got to really believe in what you're doing and, be committed to what you're saying. And so, it was just true organic passion, and I loved it. I still love it now.
Thank you for listening to this bite-sized episode of Life Lessons with me, Simon Mundie. If you'd like to get in touch and share any thoughts, opinions or guest suggestions, please do so at simonmundie.com. And just to say, I will be back putting out longer episodes very soon.